everyone, Mandy here. So in honor of today being the 30th video straight, I figured I'd answer some Q&A questions. I posted, basically a thing saying ask me anything you want, and I got a ton of comments and questions, so I'm gonna be doing that. But since this is my 30th video, I want to thank all of you for watching every single day. I have to add that I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. It was really hard, and I give a lot of props to all those vloggers out there that do a video every day. I mean, honestly, at some point in time, I think the home stretch this past week, I was struggling. I'm like, do I stop? Do I do it? But you know what? I committed, and I told you guys I was gonna give you a video every day for the month of June. So here is the 30th day. So to start off, I have Aaron Marcus asked, what has been your favorite racing memory so far in your life? I have a lot of really good memories. Of course, racing is my life, so I have a lot. But I would say the one that pops up in my head right now, all-time win, would be, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure one of you guys know it, is that, I think it was 2005. My dad hadn't been in a sprint car in a while, and he, last minute, Al Hamilton calls him and asks to jump into a sprint car at Grandview for a Thunder on the Hill race. Started way back past all these cars to come through to win the feature. It was amazing. I can seriously still remember to this day that win. I wish I was around for a lot of other wins, but that one's definitely the most memorable for me, I guess I would say. So I definitely have to answer this question. Corey Texter asked, who is your favorite motorcycle racer? Well, Corey, of course it's you, because he's awesome. I love the kid. He is a great person, a great driver, really awesome family. He actually comes from a dirt track racing background. His grandfather used to race sprint cars, so definitely check him out because he has recently started doing vlogs himself on YouTube. Again, his name is Corey Texer, so shout out to him. Please go check out his YouTube channel, give him a follow, tell him that I sent you. Alright, Shishwarm asks, what did you think of running the modified Epic Diamond that one night on the track? Well, little that most of you probably know is that I actually have been behind the wheel of a race car before, because someone else asked, when are you going to get behind the wheel? Well, I have had my fair share. I think I have a couple wins, 3? I probably should know this, but I think it's 3. My first race was in my uncle's enduro at Grandview, and I believe I won the first race in that one. My memory is horrible, but the race at Big Diamond, I did a couple powder puff races in a Sportsman, and it was Friday morning. I can remember it like it was yesterday. Friday morning, my dad calls me and he's like, hey, you want to go to Big Diamond tonight? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going, of course, Billy's racing. Well, you want to take your car? What? You want to, excuse me? And Dad's like, well, they're not getting enough cars, so you probably can just qualify and get a couple bucks for starting money. And I go, do I have much of a choice? So I went, I qualified, and I think my brother broke, something happened in the heat race that he actually was going to be starting right next to me in the feature, and I was like, oh heck no, I'm not starting next to my brother. He's running for points and intimidating as heck. But you know what, it was incredible. I honestly don't know how to explain the feeling of it, but getting to watch it, you're always growing up watching from the stands. Once you're in the track, behind the wheel, the track is completely different. It was a lot of fun, very intimidating, but I can say I did it. I tried. I pulled off. I didn't want to be in anyone's way. I'm not going to be that person. Mike Knappenberger asked, what other sports do you enjoy watching? None. None at all. Football season? No. Basketball? I played basketball, but I won't watch it. Baseball, no. I played softball, but I won't watch it. Just, I only watch race cars go in circles. That's the only sport that I watch. Harry Meeks Sr. asks, you've been around a lot of race cars in your life. You gotta have a favorite. Which car has been your all-time favorite? I'm gonna assume you mean type of car. That's what I'm gonna go with. Obviously, I do a lot more modifieds nowadays, but of course, my all-time favorite is sprint car because, I mean, when I was born, I think like the first 10 years of my life, I grew up with sprint cars, so it's in my blood, and how can you not love sprint cars? Diane asks, where and how did you meet Mike? Well, of course in racing. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. But I can say I remember hearing and seeing Mike years ago. But as far as the first time I think we ever talked was at Action Track USA. I think I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. I was working at the track and he flipped pretty bad in turn 3 and 4. I want to say he broke his finger, and he came up to the shack afterwards and he was kind of complaining about his finger. I was like, you know what, here, I'll give you some ice, and then look at that, here we are now. So I guess it was because he flipped and broke his finger, so I gave him ice, and that's how it all started. So Bob asks, with declining car counts at a lot of racetracks and fan counts falling off in the grandstands, even up to the NASCAR ranks, do you think racing will survive another 20 or 30 years? Honestly, Bob, I think that like dirt tracks, we're thriving right now. You know, you'll see and hear some people saying, oh, we're losing fans, we're losing car counts, but come to the big shows. You know, they're crowded, standing room only. I don't see racing going downhill at all anytime soon. I think if anything, we're going up. Travis asks, why don't most tracks here in PA wheel pack with the race cars anymore? It was great for the fans and should create a better surface, same as they currently do in the Midwest, Grandview, and Big Diamond. Well, Travis, I appreciate the question, but I honestly say I absolutely hate wheel packing. I don't think that when the drivers show up, they bring their cars, they bring their haulers, they pay people to get in, and you expect them to run your racetrack in. I know, I get it's great to see who's here, to learn what driver's in what car, but I don't think it's fair to the drivers to have to run the track in. The track should already be run in, and if anything, if you know they want the surface to be good, they should get vehicles that they run the track in and put racing tires on them. You know, they shouldn't have the drivers have to waste their fuel, waste their tires on running the track in, which it should already be done. So Mark asks, the time you were in the female feature at New Egypt and won, why didn't you continue in the racing career along with your brother? You certainly couldn't have a better teacher than your dad. And Mark, you are 100% accurate, but you want to know what I always tell people is that I like to let my brother have his stardom. You know, he's worked his butt to get where he is today and to finally make a name for himself, which I'm sure if I continued with it, I would do the same as well. But at a younger age, I kept thinking, like, you know what? Deep down, I feel that I have my father's genes more than my brother. So I wouldn't want to show him up. You know, like, he's worked hard to get where he is, and if I just started racing and kicking his butt, that's just not very nice. So James asks, when Mike, Billy, and Dad race on the same night, how do you choose which track to go to? Honestly, James, I don't know. But it's hard. It's really hard. I usually try and look at it as they all race most of the time more than once a week. So I try to spread it evenly and make it fair to everyone, because why do they need me at the races? I don't know. I'm just moral support, guys. I mean, if they need a hand, I will be there for them, absolutely. But when they're at a different track on the same night, that's 3 different tracks to choose from, I never thought I'd see the day. It was extremely hard when Billy and Dad split and raced at different tracks on the same night. But now I have a third driver, and it's stressful. It really is. But luckily I have a lot of good friends and family that will keep me posted at each track. But as far as choosing, I still don't know. I don't think I have a system figured out quite yet. Jen asks, what is your favorite thing to do when you're not racing? I don't know. Because we really never have any free time unless the races rain out, and then there's nothing to do outside because it's wet out. So if anything, I probably sit on the couch and binge watch Netflix. But if it is actually a nice day and there is that one day out of the entire summer that I can actually go to the beach or go to the lake, that is what I love to do. Go swimming, anything that has to do with water. So I'm going to close out with just one more question. I have a ton others that I can answer and I will do in another video, but I want to try and make this short and sweet for you guys. But my last question, Maddie, she asks, since you grew up with your dad racing, did you ever think you would date a racer or even marry one? Well, first off, there's no ring on the finger. But as far as dating one, I will tell you hands down that I have had tons of race car drivers tell me, don't date a race car driver. And you know, it's not very reassuring when race car drivers say, don't date race car drivers. And one in particular I will say is that every time I see Freddie Raymer, he always goes, you're not dating a race car driver, are you? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe, no. But Mike is actually the first race car driver I have ever been in a serious relationship with. As far as dating one, I always wanted to be with someone that had the same passion for racing as I did, but it is not easy dating a race car driver. You know, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and you really don't have a whole lot of time for yourselves outside of racing. It's stressful. It's very stressful, and you know, you can make money one week and not make money another week, so it has its ups and downs. But you know what, it's nice because it's kind of, you know, it's what I grew up doing and watching and living. So being with someone that is a race car driver, it's awesome. But did I ever see myself dating one? No.